So apparently my parents talk about a lot of heavy stuff on their podcast. Listen at your own discretion. Like, comment, subscribe, and share or whatever. Anyways, welcome to Sobriety.
Well, hello.
We're back.
We're back.
Happy Halloween.
I'm Ryan. This is Jess.
Are we, though? Are we Ryan and
Are
Jess
we?
today?
We're still sober as fuck, but we're sober, sexy cheerleaders.
If you do not watch our podcast and you only listen to it, I feel like it's worth mentioning that you miss a lot of really good stuff. Now, I understand not everybody has the ability to watch. Sorry, I look like my ears are all sticking out. But for reference, this is our special Halloween episode. And this year, for those of you who are Saturday Night Live fans, we are Spartan Cheerleaders.
Yes. Go Spartans.
Hurrah. Toe touch.
Last year was Gomez
And Morticia
and
Adams.
Morticia Adams.
Mm-hmm.
So this is Halloween number 2 for the podcast.
Yeah, this
It's like
headband's
tradition and
like
shit. I love
this headband's like way too big. But it doesn't matter. I guess that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that
They're
is
controlled
the point.
chaos anyways. So welcome to Sober as Fuck.
Welcome to the show.
Yes, happy Halloween.
Yes.
I have my Halloween nails. You probably can't see them there, but that's
Love
okay. Do you like them?
They do. They're pretty tight.
I've about trained you on the whole, like, I got my nails done thing. So for a really long time, I would come home after getting my nails done and I'd say, how do my nails look? And he would just be like, whatever.
They look good.
Right. But it took you a while to even get to they look good. And in your defense, like, you don't give a shit about, it's not that you don't give a shit. It's that you could care less how I do my nails, right?
Right.
As long as I can wipe my ass, you don't care. And so I'm like, that is not the proper response. You're supposed to be like, oh my God, those are the most beautiful nails I have ever seen in my life. Let me see them. Get over here, you gorgeous queen.
Gushing over nails.
Right. So now whenever I come home, I'm like, hey, how are my nails? And you'll be like, they're good. And I'm like, okay, we're going to start over. How are my nails?
We don't have to start over anymore.
Now you just gush about them.
I do. They're phenomenal.
Mm-hmm.
They change colors. They're awesome.
That's right.
And they're Halloween. Go Halloween.
Yay.
I love them. They look great.
Thanks. Your nails look great too.
Thank you.
Mister, I bite my nails all the time.
That's right. One of my nasty habits I can't get rid of, unfortunately.
One of.
I'll
take it over drinking any day of the week, so it's
yes.
fine. I'm not gonna bitch too much about it.
Speaking of bad habits and Halloween, I actually got rid of one. I wouldn't call it a bad habit, but I've had this like phobia of, and I know there's a term, there is a phobia for just like absolutely not wanting to go into haunted houses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what it is, but I've had that for years because I was always afraid of, number one, I went through one as a kid and was completely traumatized by it, by the ending of it, by this fucking guy in a Jason mask, like putting his hand to my throat. And that was like the end for me. And I'm like, if that ever happens again, I'm going to kick the guy in the balls, punch him in the face, and run away, right?
That's valid.
So I've always been afraid of every time in a haunted house, I'm going to punch somebody in the face, kick him in the nuts, whatever, right? So this year we went to Halloween Horror Nights, sorry, at Universal. And I did it because we have a daughter that wants to go through haunted houses. And you were going to go through the haunted houses with her, which was the whole
And I
thing.
hate
And you
haunted
hate 'em.
houses. I hate them.
But you were going to take one for the team, and I was going to wait for you guys as you went through the houses.
Yeah. Thanks a lot.
So the day comes to where we're going to do this, and I'm going to get very vulnerable about this. I freaked out over drinking for like the first time since I've been sober.
Mm-hmm.
It was real. I can feel myself like getting emotional about it now because it was really wild that I was going to be left alone in a theme park for multiple hours while you guys sat in line, went through haunted houses, and I was just going to be left. And it's like, what am I going to do? I can only drink so many coffees. I can only eat so much, which is stuff I would do anyway to fill up, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I was like, holy shit, what's going to happen? Because Universal, unlike Disney, which, Disney does have some NA options now. Universal does, but you got to go outside the park basically for them. We did find a couple places that had them after we searched around and talked to a lot of people, but we didn't know that till we got to the park. And it really flipped me out. So I had to go through a checklist. Like, is my phone charged or my AirPods charged? There was a baseball game that night. I thought, okay, I can watch a baseball game while you guys do this. Excuse me. And it'll keep me occupied. But then I thought, oh, fuck, what if my phone goes dead? What if my AirPods go dead? Then I'm left by myself for an hour and a half, 2 hours. Holy shit. Now, in my head, I knew I was not going to drink. But it's like I had this internal struggle of future tripping, what would happen, what could happen. I got all these things going through my mind. I'm like, okay, if I just do this, this, and this, everything's going to be okay. And it made me fucking emotional. I started crying because I did not know what the hell I was going to. I'd never been in that situation before.
Mm-hmm.
It was crazy. So I had to speak it into existence. So instead of holding it in, which is what I used to do, and I would go to the park, I would drink beer. You guys would go through a haunted house and everything been fine. I probably wouldn't remember the night. I said, before we leave, I need to tell you guys something. And I broke down and told you, here's what's wrong. And I'm just letting you know because I need to get it off my shoulders. I need to tell you about it. Then everything will be fine. And by God, it worked. I did it. I said my piece. I said, I'm fucking scared what's going to happen. And then I got it out and then everything was fine. And then off to the park we went. Now, when we get to the park, things change a little bit. Lily takes me to the first haunted house and with you as well. And I thought, fuck it. I'm going to face my fears. I've been sober for almost 2.5 years. I've done hard shit. Why can I not walk through this thing with my child and you? So with both of you huddled up behind me with hoods tight to where you look like Kyle from South Park.
You betcha.
Clutching the back of my shirt.
Mm-hmm.
I am literally dragging you two through a haunted house as people are jumping out at me, scaring me, jump scares. I'm laughing the whole time because it was actually fun as shit. And you guys missed the whole thing other than pushing me like a battering ram. I was like a meat suit through this fucking haunted house for like 3 to 5 minutes. And I had fun. It was one of the funnest things I have done since becoming sober. I laughed my ass off. So the rest of the night, Lily and I, because you bowed out.
Well, there's a story to that.
Yeah.
I did 3 haunted houses. We
You
can
did
circle
3,
back
yes.
to that, but I
Yeah.
did 3 of them. Not very willingly,
Yes.
but go ahead.
But we went through 4 or 5 that night, and then I had so much fun. Instead of doing the one night, we went back, and Lily was kind of begging me. She's like, "Oh, I want to go. I want to do it again. I already had it in my mind. I'm fucking doing this again because we didn't do like 5 of them." And we went back and we did all of them, and it was like the coolest 2 nights I've had in a long time. And just to get over that fear, and then go through the internal like little battle that I had with myself and share that with you and Lily, I think was great because it kind of let you know, hey, here's what I used to go through. Here's what I'm going through right now. And I got through it and everything was perfectly fine. There was no issues. I had the fucking time of my life.
Yeah, I think it definitely sort of brought to the surface how you worked under this assumption, like the majority of your life, that you were this like very reactive person, right? That you were just an angry person, that when people came into your personal space or they did things that you didn't like, that you would react aggressively. You had sort of just conditioned yourself to think that that's who you were, right? That's who you are.
Mm-hmm.
And my takeaway from the evening was that you realized you were never a reactive person. It is that you were using alcohol to numb something out, to hide from something. And because that was all consuming, in turn, it was what was causing you to be so defensive, right? Like you're using it to, you were using alcohol because you thought that it would lower your inhibitions and make you more like open to things, but it actually did the opposite. So when that alcohol is no longer there, you're like, oh.
Well, it's like a numbing agent, right? I mean, just it pushes things down, or it makes you, I guess, what is it, mentally think like, oh, well, I can do that now.
Well, and also too, I mean, when you're drinking or using to excess, we talk a lot about always having to look over your shoulder or being fearful of what you've done. And I think that's part of it too. You're living in this perpetual state of fight or flight whenever you're using or drinking or, whatever it is that you're struggling with, that you don't even realize until you come out of it and you're really dealing with that like, oh my gosh, like I really was just ready to like fucking throw down at any time because I'm always worried, like, what's going to happen? What's going to happen? So I was really proud of you.
Thank you. I was proud of myself.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to thank myself for that evening. That was hands down. I cannot wait to go back next year. It was that much fun.
It was a lot of fun. I'm not down for the haunted houses.
No.
But it was a lot of fun.
And would you like to talk about, because I've at the night we got back from the first night there, you actually had a little bit of a, would you call it a breakdown? I don't know what you would call it. It was just like a little mental thing.
It wasn't little. I don't know why you're trying to minimize it.
I don't know. I guess for the podcast, I don't know why. I
had a full-blown panic attack.
Sorry, I don't mean to minimize it. It's just I didn't know how to put it because I didn't go through it. I mean, I was there with you. I was there to help you through it. But I don't know if anybody's seen these Terrifier movies, but they're fucked up. Would you agree?
Yes. So,
murder porn, is that what we call it?
Torture porn.
Torture porn.
Oh my God. And by torture porn, I mean, there literally is like something called torture porn, right? Where it's like sexual and all of that stuff.
It's
when I say
disgusting
torture
shit.
porn, I mean like it's like people who enjoy watching people be tortured. And that doesn't mean that if you like horror movies, I think that you're like into torture porn. Okay, let's not like go all the way to the deep end. And if you do, like whatever. But I loved horror movies growing up. I watched all the Rob Zombie stuff, Devil's Rejects, all of that, which I think is, pretty normal for adolescents and teens. I've never been one who's big on jump scares. So when I was in high school, me and my boyfriend and a bunch of his friends went to a haunted forest. It's the only time I've ever been to a haunted anything. And I, very similarly to the way I did with you, buried my head, except this time it was his friend was in front of me, like a friend who I knew, but was not someone where I'd be like, hey, what's up, buddy? You know? I buried my head into the back of this poor guy's shirt, right? Like full blown. And I had my boyfriend behind me and I was like, wrap your arms around me. And if you let go, I'll fucking kill you. Like you're dead. Right. And so I did the same thing. Like I kept my eyes shut and I was like, that fucking sucked. I'm never going to do that shit again.
That's right.
And so I didn't until we went to Halloween Horror Nights. Now, I was nervous and apprehensive, but at the same time, I was like, okay, I am 40 years old and I've done a lot of like work and therapy and all of these things. And my anxiety is something I struggle with outside of my eating disorder. You know, those are the two things that I struggle with the most. And after losing my mom, I'm like, if I can go through that, then I can go through anything, right? Wrong. So we go through the first two haunted houses, and I keep my eyes shut, and it's fine. Like, I'll look up every once in a while and see something and close my eyes. I mean, I don't like it, but I'm more laughing at myself because I'm like, you're such a fucking pussy. Like, open your fucking eyes. But the third one was the Terrifier house. And for anyone who is seriously neurodivergent, and Lily would like not literally punch me in the face, but she gets irritated when I use that word, but it's true. Like, it's an all-encompassing word. Who get overstimulated, ADHD, things like that. When your senses are like, the volume is turned all the way up to the max unexpectedly, you cannot handle it. Right? You cannot handle it. So we go into the Terrifier house, and I knew, like, I had watched it on TikTok and stuff. I knew it was going to be gory. I knew it was going to be gross. But I was like, okay, I know what's coming. I know it's fake. I'll just close my eyes. It'll be fine. We go through, and I really, really, really think, and I'm sure there are, like, you know, just like warnings or whatever. But for anyone who has sensory issues or anything like that, I really do feel like it needs to be said that you need to be very cautious about going into the Terrifier house. The smell, it
It's
smelled
pretty bad.
like death. Okay, so the first thing was that was like the sounds, and it's not just like chainsaws and stuff. It's like mushy and wet, and like flesh tearing and bones
And there's like
breaking.
body parts hanging from the
There's
fucking
body
ceiling,
parts
like
hanging from the
intestines
ceiling.
and shit.
And
That's fucking gross.
you know, they aren't allowed to touch you, but you like run into things as you're walking, right? Like the floor is unstable, and even the texture of the floor changes. And like, I bumped into a wall one time, and there are all these sounds, and even with your eyes closed, I could like see the flickering of the lights and then the smell. And I did not expect it to go here, but for anyone who has like been in the ICU or a funeral home or like certain hospital settings, if you've worked in a morgue, whatever, like, that smell is distinct. Like, I know on shows are like, that smells like a dead body. It is fucking distinct.
Yeah.
I don't know how they recreated that smell.
I don't either. It's so
but
bad.
It hit me, and for whatever reason, my mind went straight back to being in the ICU with my mom when she died. It just went straight back there, and I lost it. I was like huddled up behind you. I was crying. I was screaming. And I kept saying, you know, I think I kept saying something like, you know, is it over? I'm ready for this to be over. I need to get out of here or something. And here is the insane part. They're like, oh, well, there are people like posted up usually near these hidden doorways, and they, you know, if you just flag one of them,
and there was a bunch of people
they'll
there.
let you out. Okay, if you have ever had a full-blown panic attack, I don't mean panicking, I mean panic attack. In order to notify someone, I must open my eyes, observe the room around me, and flag someone. I don't know in what world they
you
think
definitely
that
couldn't
you
see.
are capable of doing that in the middle of a panic attack. But no, so I'm crying, and then like towards the end, there's this wet path and this dry path. And I hear Lily going, let's go to the wet path. And I just screamed, no, God, please, no. Because you know, at that point I was like, if there's one more stimuli, even if it's the wetness, I seriously probably would have just fallen to the ground and like they would have had to like stop that house. Like they would have had to have stopped. And luckily, we went on the dry path because you were like, fuck that, I'm not
I'm
getting
not
wet.
doing that shit.
And it's not like fake blood or anything. It's just water, but it's supposed to like
but it's supposed to imitate
feel
like blood.
imitate
Yes.
blood, but it's just water.
It's fucked up.
And so I kind of see, I open my eyes for a second, look down, I see a little sliver of light, and we go out of the haunted house. Now, mind you, the two before that, we had come out, and I'd been like breathing heavy and panicky, but like laughing panicky. Like, oh my God, that sucked, but laughing at myself, right? It's like, you know, when you go to Spirit Halloween and something jumps out at you, you know, you laugh. So that's what you guys thought I was doing again. Like I was running out and you guys were like laughing like, ha ha ha. Oh my gosh, was it that bad?
And by the way, because we couldn't hear you.
That was getting
you said, yeah, you were yelling, but we couldn't hear you.
All I remember is as soon as I was out of that house, I ran out and there was like a little gate and I ran around the gate into the like smallest little corner I could find. And I just crouched down and in what I thought was trying to make myself as small as possible, and I was just shaking and bawling my fucking eyes out. I mean, it was full blown. Like I felt like I couldn't breathe. And so you guys come over and you're like, oh my God, ha ha ha. And I think like maybe you thought I was like getting sick or something.
No, I knew something was wrong. I didn't think you were
Lily's like
sick.
Laughing. And I just remember thinking, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
Like I literally cannot breathe. Like I'm suffocating. And it was horrible. And the way that I told you later, I said, you know, imagine you are in a pool or a body of water, okay? And every part of your body is underwater except for your nose and your mouth. But your ears, your eyes, your whole body, everything. And you feel the water coming up and you're trying to breathe to maintain your air. That's how it felt. And it was so bad because it hit me out of nowhere. It was just overstimulating and that fucking smell. And I just was like, I'm done. You know, I was like, I'm done. And you were really great about it because you just, you know, took my hand. Well, once I no longer was crouched down, you took my hand and you just guided me to a secluded area. Because if you've been to Halloween Horror Nights, not every area is scary. So there's a lot of the park that is still like they have Halloween stuff, but there are no jump scares. There's no scare zones. There's no like it's nothing that's gonna like hurt you or scare you. Nothing's gonna hurt you, but scare you. And I just sat there for the longest time, and you were like, "I'm gonna go get a coffee and use the restroom. Do you want a coffee?" Which I know is not great in a panic attack, but like I was like, "Yeah," because coffee, warmth, comfort. And it sucked. And you guys were having so much fun that even though I know it wasn't intentional, the guilt of that happening and me feeling like I ruined y'all's night, like, you know, I should have just stayed in the hotel room. You guys would have had a better time without me. That piled on top of it just made it so much worse. Because in the same breath, and then I thought, oh my God, like Ryan was scared of this and he did so good and this is his moment. And now I'm coming in and being, you know, and I'm the one panicking. Like it was just, you know how it is. It's like everything compiles on top of itself.
Well, that's what made me feel bad. I felt so bad because I knew you were going through something wrong. I'm on this like, you know, high on life because I was able to, you know, do this with my daughter. And then at night, as I journaled about it, I was like, holy shit, it feels like we took on each other that night.
I think too,
and I felt bad because I was like, oh my God, I spoke this shit into existence.
No,
but it went to you and
also,
not me.
I also think that, you know, I was so disappointed in myself. Again, not that it was intentional, but I wanted to be able, like, I was the one that was like, Lily, I'll go through the haunted houses with you. Fuck it. Like, what's the worst thing that happens? Well, I found out.
Yeah.
But I thought, you know, I've done all of this work. I mean, I've been working on my mental health longer than you've been sober.
Mhm.
I have done all of this fucking work for years. I started going to therapy and doing all the things literally when everyone in my life, except for my brother, but like everyone was like chaotic. My mom died. I lived through that. I lived through all these things. And then I faced something and boom.
Well, it just goes to show you that, I mean, we have to work. We do all the work every day. We both do.
Well, and it also goes to
Mentally,
show you.
But you still have triggers. I mean, they're still out there.
I wouldn't even say. I mean, yeah, I got triggered, but something else I realized is that's just not for me.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing.
Not everything is for you.
But that was shocking to me because whenever you're getting sober and you're working on your mental health, right? Like you set these goals for yourself. Like I want to be able to do this. I want to be able to do that. And we talk a lot about when you achieve those goals and you can do them and you do them successfully. And that's awesome. But something else that you find in this recovery journey is that some things that you thought were goals, some things that you thought like, I'm going to do that, you realize I don't want to do that. I thought I wanted to do that. I mean, you're laughing, but it's true. Like,
it's true. Like I wanted to run
that.
fucking marathons. I'm not going to run a damn marathon. I'm
saying, like, I thought I wanted to do that, but now that I have gotten in touch with myself, I don't. Like, I come to the conclusion that, like,
you don't have to like and love everything.
Well, I don't like being scared.
Yeah, so there you go. You don't have to do it anymore.
I don't like being scared. But something else, they have these like scare zones where people come out and stuff. And those didn't scare me.
Mm-hmm.
And those are jump scares. Like people chase you around with chainsaws and stuff. But I think, too, it's because in the haunted houses, I said this, there's like this layer of claustrophobia. Because you were inside and you're stuck. And yeah, I mean, you can go out. But again, it's not like you can, I mean...
Well, if you're not looking up, you can't see the people to help you out.
That's the biggest fucking joke in the world.
And they're all in dark stuff. Like you can't, I mean, they do have like a little badge on. But honestly, if you're not looking for them, they're not like in plain sight. I mean, I saw them all the time, but I was literally looking at everything.
They need to hand out like
a little something you can push
at the gate. I'm being serious.
I know, like something around your neck you can push. Like, get me the fuck out of here.
Like, I think I need to like sit down with Universal and be like, listen, like, I'm not saying that you guys need to tame it back or anything, right? Like, the majority of people love it, but for people like me who are doing this and they don't know, you really should be giving people, like, when you check in, like some sort of card or like glow stick or something, so that you can be like, if at any point during these haunted houses, if you want out, all you have to do is raise this thing up. And if you raise this thing up, someone will come to you, can stop walking or whatever, and someone will come to you and get you out. Because to expect someone in the middle of a panic attack to open their eyes, look around, like, excuse me, is like stupid. That is the most fucking stupid thing I've ever heard in my goddamn life. Because
email
it's so
to Universal.
Real. Yeah, Universal.
Email.
Like a referee, like a yellow flag. Like,
there you go, yellow flag. Throw it.
Flag on the
challenge
play.
Flag. Just throw it out.
Yeah, something. Because you're like yelling, "Get me the fuck out of here!" But like it's so loud. But yeah, I just realized like that's just not my thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the next day, it was so much more fun. Like you guys,
we went to the houses.
And
you got
did
to
the houses,
do
and
the
then
hangout thing.
and I went to the little like Today Show cafe at the front of the place, and there was like nobody in there, and I got to like watch the parade as Halloween Horror Nights was starting, and I got a cup of coffee and like a big ass fucking cinnamon roll that I did not have to share with anybody, and that was amazing. I ate it all by myself, and I like watched people getting scared. And it was funny, and it made it more, like, silly. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
And, I had no problem with that. Like, you guys would go in haunted houses, and I'm like, I'm going to go over here and get a corn dog, or I'm going to go over here and get some popcorn, or I'm going to go just, like, I don't know, sit and do nothing. And it was...
Well, the fun thing for you was you got to sit and watch other people get the shit scared out of them, which I'm sure was kind of fun.
How fucked up is it as I'm saying this, right? That I'm like, yeah, it's so scary, all that. I could totally be a scare actor. Like, I could be the one look, I can inflict the pain. I just don't want to
You don't want it inflicted on you.
No. No. I don't. And yeah, I'm an alpha. Like, no, don't do that.
Yeah.
But it was a big learning experience. It's a big learning experience of, just because something doesn't work out or just because you can't like succeed at that goal, it actually was a success for me because it taught me something about myself, right? Like that's just on my speed. I don't want to do a haunted house. I don't want to do a haunted forest. I'll do haunted stuff, but not in a contained area.
Lesson learned.
Which is hilarious because Lily was the exact opposite. The scare zones.
Yeah,
with her head.
She was the one buried behind us, trying to run through them.
Oh my gosh,
but loved the haunted houses.
But loved the haunted houses, like especially that. There was a girl who chased her with a chainsaw, and she thought that was scary but fun. But yeah, it was a good experience. Halloween Horror Nights though is a lot of fun, and even if you don't like haunted stuff or haunted houses, you can go and not get scared. Yeah, I will say
100%.
The moral of the story is that my baseline is terrified as fuck all the time. So I don't need anything to like kick God up a notch. Okay? I'm good.
Well, to pivot just a little bit, just a few minutes ago, you were talking about Flag on the Play.
Yes.
Something I want to talk about real quick before we wrap up is for those of you who don't know, haven't listened to previous episodes, haven't heard me in meetings, things like that. While I quit drinking almost 2.5 years ago, I also quit gambling. Gambling was a huge part of my life. But again, it was one of those with alcohol. It was very easy. Once I said, I'm done. I have seen some crazy shit over the past 2 weeks when it comes to gambling. And I'm like, thank God that is not a part of my fucking life anymore. And the two things are, number one, NCAA is allowing their athletes to gamble on pro sports. How fucked up is that? Okay. Number one, you shouldn't be able to gamble in a sport you're playing on, period, the end. Number two, they just arrested about 30 people, NBA players, coaches, and other people for rigged poker games, which, by the way, a lot of the professional poker players knew about 2 years ago, which I find funny. And they're actually on podcasts talking about it. And the worst thing I've ever seen, and it's happened many times before, somebody just happened to get caught again, was somebody faking an injury to go out so that they can get paid on what's called a prop bet. So a prop bet is like if you're a basketball player and it says you're going to get 6 rebounds a game over under, and you bet on it and you get paid whether it's over or under. Well, if the guy, 6-7, right? 6 or 7 rebounds.
Right.
Had to work that in. If the guy leaves the game early, 9 minutes in, only has a couple rebounds, guess what? He's not hitting it, and you've hit your money. So what happens is these players will get somebody to go make the bet for them, tip friends off, take money kickbacks. And this is probably a little reckless for me to say, but it happens all the fucking time, whether you admit it or not. So, and that's part of the gambling shit. You don't know. Is somebody taking shit on purpose? Or the refs? That was one of my things I was always worried about, which NBA referees have been caught doing it to where they, with the human element, call extra fouls and shit like that. And that to a gambler, that could put you over the fucking edge. A lot of these guys owed money to the mafia and stuff like that. There's no telling where they're going to end up. And it's a slippery slope to go down. I hate to see it. If anybody has gambling problems out there, there's a, hotline number you can call. I would love to start some type of gambling meetings or Zoom meetings with people if anybody wants to reach out to me and do that. Because that was a huge part of my life. And thank God it's not anymore. I just find it so fucked up for all the people that are still out there doing it and having to go through all this, always wondering why. And it's become such a huge part of not only professional sports now, but college sports. Mm-hmm. And to me, it's just absolutely absurd that this is even a thing.
Well, and I think too, a lot of it is like self-preservation. So these things have been going on for a really long time, always behind the scenes. But now with like social media and everything being able to like come to light instantly, unfortunately, it means that like the stuff that's been going on forever, that's just behind closed doors, it's either one of two things, right? Either A, you're going to have to penalize all of these people and you're really going to have to shut it down, or B, we just make it fucking legal.
Yeah.
And so, unfortunately, money and power always wins. So, my opinion is that the reason they're doing this is because it's something that's been done since the beginning of time anyway.
Well, it's like every
just
once in a while, it's like
now-
they got to make an example out of somebody or something. I'm
I
like,
mean,
come
but
on.
do they?
I mean, listen, I'm an athlete. I've been on buses and airplanes, okay, with teams. And I'm telling you right now, every time I got on a bus, every time I got in an airplane, even when I was underage, we were gambling. We would gamble our stipend money.
Oh,
our
yeah,
food
I'm
money.
sure.
We would play poker. We would play AC-doocy, high-low. You know, we did all this shit on a fucking bus. with,
Right,
like,
but you
nothing.
didn't have people with cell phones who were
Exactly
like
right.
tweeting and making TikToks.
But all
and,
these
like,
guys,
talking.
they still do it today. It's just nobody talks about it.
Oh,
but-
everybody talks about it. That's why now you're able to just do the things. I mean, could
Yeah.
you imagine? Like, take yourself back 50 years ago to when you were 20. And you like how I did that?
Yeah, that was great.
And
Jesus
and
Christ.
you know, when you're playing professional hockey, could you imagine if everything you did had the potential to boom instantly just be like all everywhere, all over the place?
Yeah, I mean, I think the modern day athlete from probably 10 or 15 years ago, maybe 20. I mean, literally everything's on social media.
Yeah.
Every little interview. I mean, the interviews I did with like news or whatever, you know, it's on a VHS tape somewhere in the garage. You know, it's not something you just pull up
Mm-hmm.
on the computer for millions of people to see or out on Twitter, Facebook, whatever. It's crazy how all that has evolved over the
Mhm.
years. And the same thing with gambling. I've talked about on here before. I mean, you know, before you actually had to physically go somewhere to make a bet. Now you can just do this shit from your phone.
Yeah.
It's unbelievable the access to it.
Yeah.
And for people underage too that's what bothers me. That's
Well,
what
and
worries me.
like all things, like nothing is all good or all bad,
Right.
right? So the positive thing about that instant gratification, the instant response is that things do come to light. Like a lot of good has come out of that, like the Me Too movement and things like that. But the downfall is cancel culture and how, you know, and I know this is a kind of a controversial topic, but how something that you've said or done 20 years ago can come back. And it's not to say that like there aren't things that shouldn't be excused, but at the same time, it just creates this facade. So like people of our daughter's generation and generations to pass, it's not that they're learning better behaviors. They're
Right.
just learning to hide even more. Because like this thing with sports betting, it's not saying, hey, we know that this is fucked up shit that's been going on for a while, so now we're going to put a stop to it. It's saying, we know this is fucked up shit that's been going on for a while, but at the same time, if we stop it, we're going to lose a fuck ton of money. We're just going to be like, oh, now you're allowed to do it.
That's
so
right.
perception is reality. So, I mean, and we could go on about
Yeah.
that, but, you know, if you ever have a podcast, Ryan, talking about sports and all that, you should call it Flag on the Play.
Yeah, I like that.
You're welcome.
I love that. Thank you so much. Anyway, that was a great little podcast for Halloween. I thought we hit some.
Yeah, and we ended on athletes, which is who we are.
That's
the
right.
Spartan Cheerleaders. Will Ferrell,
Sherry O'Terry.
Sherry O'Terry, if you're out there.
It was good fun.
It was great fun.
Anyway, we'll see you guys next week. Actually, we'll probably see you next holiday.
Next holiday.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's right around the corner.
It is right around the corner.
Gobble, gobble.
We'll have a couple of podcasts before then, but whatever.
I'm talking about for just you and me.
TBD. Like all the cool
TBD.
kids say. TBD.
We'll see you guys next week. If you love the podcast, which I know you do, please like, subscribe,
And hit that notification bell to get
Boom.
notified every time we post.
That's right. Dropping them, baby. Word.